So, do you ever feel like you have things that you want to manifest, you want to create, you have a vision, but when you try to put it together, it doesn't quite come together? Force that's coming through us, that's giving us life, right? So this source also gives us ideas and gives us thoughts, gives us inspiration, and gives us our vision. Like what's so amazing is that when we have a desire for something, it doesn't actually start inside of us. It reflects back to us from the future reality that it exists in. When we have a desire for something, we can feel it in our bones, we can feel it in our heart, in our soul. The reason why we feel that is because it already exists. I once watched a video from this guy named Charlie on YouTube, who's amazing. And he on a whiteboard, and I'll put the link below, on the whiteboard he explained how on a quantum level, there's a concept called quantum entanglement that basically says that when we have these feelings, the reason why we have these feelings that are so special and so powerful is because we actually are connected to that outcome now. Now there's physicality and there's time between us and that event. But the reason why we feel it so much and the reason why people are driven to make their dream or their desire happen is because they're actually touching it already. So how do we get closer to that vision of what we want? We have the ability to get closer to the light, closer to the source energy of creation by the relationships that we have with other people, right? So if we want to get closer to that positive outcome, to that dream, then what we want to do is we want to get closer to that source energy that's feeding it to us, right? That source energy that's coming through us. One way to do that is by thinking about people in our life. Think about people in your life. Think about someone that that you have some kind of, internal conflict with or struggle with, or maybe you've had a disagreement that hasn't been resolved. Maybe it's a parent that you just, are at odds with. And if you make an attempt to close that distance between you and the other person, not because you're right or because he's right, but just because that source energy that's in us is also in them. So when we get closer to them, when we remove the conflict or the disagreement, or when we just somehow get closer to them, then we can get closer to that source energy that's coming through us. And then we get more power to follow our vision. And when we get close enough to this source energy, when that source energy flows consistently in our life, then our mind starts to follow and the universe starts to respond and bring people into our life and bring opportunities into our life. And we can allow that flow to manifest itself into our vision. All we have to do is get into alignment, to get into a state, get into the energy of that thing and get closer to it and invite that alignment and invite the universe. And in doing these things, we can set an intention and signal to the universe that we're ready for those things to start to flow into our life and manifest. We don't have to think about what's the next thing to do, physically. But what we can do is we can start moving toward getting a stronger connection to that source energy. Have a great day. Sending lots of love to everybody.